Hello and welcome to a video about Genos. Surprise, surprise. But what's different about the video today? Well, it's happy birthday to Genos. It's 1 year since this amazing product was launched by Yamaha. And for those of you who maybe have got one of these, you will know what an incredible instrument it is. And to be fair, it kind of sets the standard for all other manufacturers because it just has everything a musician needs in it. Don't get me wrong, there's a couple of things that sort of niggle, and 12 months on, they should not be niggling because they should be dealt with and ironed out. But I don't know what's going on with Yamaha, but there are things in here that haven't been addressed, even 12 months on. So that's really quite bad. And the thing that bugs me the most, and if you read the forums, it's this catch feature where when you select a registration, you have to bring the volume down in order to take the volume up. Well, that works, that's fine, but that was designed by somebody who doesn't play all the time, every single second with both hands. Because how can you start wiggling things around like this when you're actually playing? It's just stupid. So Yamaha, come on, get your finger out your backsides and please will you address this situation with this catch, because it can't go on much longer because I'm losing my temper with this, something rotten. There was only ever one other keyboard I've ever sat at that made me angry and I got rid of it. And I don't want to be doing that with this because this 99% great and this is the one flaw. Well, in actual fact, there's 2 flaws. Actually, no, there's 3. But I will address those in the video. But this is the biggest one for me. This is an absolute pain in the neck. So please, can you get something sorted? For those of you who've already got one of these, you will be probably over the moon with it and you will be suffering the same as I do with these. And maybe a couple of other things that you may have spotted. But for the majority of the time, this keyboard is just simply incredible. It really is. And of course, for those of you who play keyboard, you know that this thing has an automated backing and uses something called styles, which power the whole instrument so that you can sit at home and play music that you like. So you simply go to the style department, you choose whatever you want to play. So say, for example, I want to play something from the jazz section, big band ballad. The keyboard even sets everything up for you with these OTS buttons. So I press OTS and it sets up a voice. I can press the second one, third, fourth. And then by simply playing a left-hand chord, it will read the chord and convert it into a pattern. And you can change voice. Now you'll notice me changing the controls over here, and this changes the style parts so that the whole thing gets bigger. So you can play any style of music using this instrument. In the styled categories, there are some really super sounds and super styles. And one of those, my favourite, is in rock. And it's on page 3 and it's 80s rock ballad. It's a really quite very, very powerful sound. And of course, you can sort of choose the sound you want. Now, with the style, obviously you get this OTS system where you can have 4 voices selected for you by the instrument. So it knows, okay, we're playing a rock, maybe you want a guitar. Maybe number 2. Or maybe we go to number 3, which then brings in some really nice big pop ballad sort of pianos. So this has 800 styles on board, which can get a bit confusing when you actually come to find what you need, because you don't always remember, well, I certainly don't always remember the style that you chose. I mean, there's a lovely rock orchestra ballad. So maybe I actually like that. So, as I say, my memory isn't as good as it used to be. So I have the ability to actually save this in what is called favorites. Now, favorites is a section on your keyboard that allows you to save your all-time favorite styles. Of course, hence the name favorites. So favorites takes away all the sort of, oh, where did I find this, find that. So if I go to my favorites, I've got Desert Adventure set in there. And of course you can go through the variations, which brings in then the big drums. So again, you can certainly control whether you want a sort of gentle sort of movie score, but just using variation A. Or as you progress, when you get to variation D, the whole party kicks in. So again, that's now in my favourites because it's one of the favourite styles that I use. If I go in back into the preset section, I've got so many categories, as you can see on the screen. On the left-hand side, you've got pop, retro, pop, dance, entertainer, so on. Sorry, just to have a cough then. Oh, ever so dry. Right, so if I want to go into something a bit more poppy, I can choose something like chart, dance, pop. I can then go into another style if I want to. If I want some reggaeton slow jam, well, that's certainly by Marks and Spencer's. Again, it's already chosen the voices for me. So I can choose to play pop music, I can choose to play rock music. Oldies is a great category for those of you who are in your maybe your late 40s, 50s, 60s. Moving on. There's some really very iconic styles in here. I'm not going to play any more because you'll get a copyright strike. But you know what it is. Yeah, you know the thing. But there's lots and lots and lots of different styles for sort of orchestral stuff. Very iconic sort of guitar group, as you know. We've got 60s sweet pop. And don't put too much sugar in your tea. That's all I'm saying. And again, it's picked all my voices. So you can perform pretty much anything from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, up to modern day. All using, in fact, you can go much further back because, of course, we've got the jazz, we've got the easy listening stuff. There are some really very nice easy listening styles in this keyboard. Second voice, third, fourth, it's just stunning. Then you've got things like James Last. You've got sort of the two very iconic James Last song styles. You've got Wonder Waltz. So you can do all that sort of fancy French stuff. You've got 60s orchestral swing. So you can do all that sort of ilk, and of course you've got Latin. Every part of the world has been catered for. I'm thinking of something it can't do, but I really do find myself with this particular instrument really stumped at throwing something at it. I'm thinking, can it do this? Can it do that? And I never have an issue, other than this thing. But let's not dwell on that. You're listening, Yamaha? Please get it sorted. So going back to Latin, we've got some really sort of worldy wide styles. Now over here, as you've just seen me turn it on, it has a harmony function. So instead of playing a big handful of chords, or you can play one finger and it will read the notes from your left hand. So you don't have to do all the sort of technical stuff. go. Rumba Island. Still with steel drums. And again, you can go into things like sambas, just it's just such a wonderful instrument to sit and play because you just get drawn in. And I said this when, I mean, I've covered many years worth of Yamaha instruments, all the way from the very first keyboard they ever manufactured up till this model. And this particular model just draws you. In fact, Genos 1 was also one of the first keyboards where I actually sat down and didn't want to walk away in terms of getting ideas and things to sort of play with. And Genos 2 has taken that to a completely different level. Now, for those of you who are maybe looking and thinking, well, does it do this? Does it do that? Well, the big question is, yes, it has a sequencer. So it's one of those instruments out there that does genuinely record 16 tracks. If I press recording and go to multi-record, you can see on the screen, I can record 16 tracks. However, for those of you who maybe like to dabble with creativity, and think, well, can I actually record and can I do this? The easy way is to go to quick MIDI recording. Now, let's come out. Here's another one of those bugs. Hang on a minute. Let me just come out of there. Right, let's come out. There we go. Right, turn that back off. That's another bug. When you go into recording, it turns on the reverb. Nothing has ever been done. It was the same in the Genos 1. It's like Yamaha have seen things and thought, well, oh, just forget it. We'll not sort these out. And these have all been reported. I personally have reported every single one of these to Yamaha in the past. Nothing has happened, which is a bit of a shame because it's like little tiny things like that. I mean, it won't drive you mad, don't get me wrong. But when you're doing things like this, you think, well, hang on, I don't want reverb on the microphone when I'm recording, but I can't turn it off. It won't disable. So, again, another minor bug for Yamaha. If you're watching this, please do make a note of that. So going back to the recording, I can record. The easy way to do it is to go into quick recording and record your performance, play like you normally play, and then come out of there and then take that recording into multi-track recording, and it will play your song back, but it will also give you the ability to record 7 additional parts on the upper or melody or whatever you want to call it. If you also want to go in, you can rewrite and re-record a range of parts. So, for example, if you don't like the bass line, you can take Yamaha's bass line out and put your own in and sit and play it in manually. It's incredible. It's such a great function. You can record audio in here. You've got audio multipads, which even now some manufacturers can't get right. So audio multipads means that you can load vocals, you can load anything, sound effects, you name it, you can put them into the keyboard and trigger them while you're playing. And for performances where maybe you've got a vocal, this will do that job exactly. So you can have somebody singing along, already recorded on a multipad, and you can play along. And for those of you who maybe want to see this in action, if you look on my channel, you will see a video of oh crikey, I can't remember the name of the song. I only posted it a few weeks ago, 2 weeks, 3 weeks maybe. Where the Streets Have No Name, and that's got a vocal singer, and then all I start off is just simply with an electric piano, and I accompany the vocalist and then bring the style in also. You can see all that this keyboard will allow you to do that, and it's not a complicated process. And that brings me on to the next subject of Yamaha instruments. The menu system is an absolute charm. It works perfectly, solidly, every single time. If you think, well, I want to put a new voice onto number 3, on your screen here, you've got left, right 1, right 2, right 3. Simply tap right 3. You can go in and you can pick the voice that you want. If I want to put on some, what should we have? Let's have some soft horns and bones. And the one thing you will notice, if anybody is watching this and has a Genos 1 or maybe an SX900, you will notice an adrenaline rush to the brass department, because everything in brass is so much bigger, so much better. You've got this fantastic concert tutti. And things like concert trumpets. And the silly thing is, when somebody says an arranger keyboard, everybody automatically thinks it sounds like cheese. It's one of these sort of lift music machines. But this is not. It's got serious sampled voices in here that sound like they're... They sound like the real deal. And if you go into the piano section and listen to these new voices like Character Grand, maybe put a little bit more reverb. It's real movie score sort of stuff. I do like this new U1 upright as well. Simply stunning. If you go to the CFX, this is again the voices that were in the previous model as well. Such richness to those. It's just such a wonderful sound. Oh yeah. And again, I will tell you everything that's good and bad. And for those of you who maybe are aware or know about Yamaha's, they're scratchy strings. They are still as scratchy as before. They've just tried to rename things like film harmonic. Still scratchy. You've got that vibrancy in there. So then you've got cinematic. Slightly warmer. However, when you get to page 6, and trust me, I've been through all of these, there are some really incredibly clear, wonderful spiccato strings. So if you want to perform things like sort of the modern pop violin sort of stuff that you can sort of find, the spiccatos. They work. So all that sort of movie stuff again, if you wanted to. You've got string spiccato, lower, so things like cello, spiccato sections. They've put more spiccato stuff, and of course you've still got the old disco strings as well, which I think is quite cute. Yeah, all that sort of disco. You got some nice tremolo strings. And I'm going to have to show you this, because this, although the strings are pretty lame, the solo violins, the orchestral first, second, and viola are just to die for. When you go and throw them in with an ethereal movie score or movie style, it's a very simple left-hand string with some horn. Put a little touch more reverb. And of course you can layer, I keep saying of course, but you can put layered choir on the left hand if you want to go sort of. Brings a tear to your eye, doesn't it? So does the price. But no, it's in actual fact, when this keyboard came out, it was priced at a set point, and over the last year it's come down, and it's probably at the best price you can probably get it at now. Here in the UK you're looking at about 3.5, 3.6 for one of these, and I'm just wondering what else I can show you, because there is so much. Things like the percussion, the vibraphones have had an update. Turn the choir off. So you just got a full keyboard now. If you like synth voices and want sort of that sort of voice, got some really nice sort of clicky, picky sort of sounds. So you got Anna pluck. Hit pluck. And of course you've got some really nice pads in here as well. And let's not forget, one of the things that Yamaha have thrown into the Genos too is the DX7 sounds as well. So if you go into your expansion, this actually comes as an extra pack of sounds. So it doesn't take up the internal memory. So you got DX pianos. Pipe organs. Yep. Now, me being picky, and you know what I'm like, there are some stunning sounds in this keyboard. Why do you put things like those in there? Whoever is going to use that in this? I mean, I know if you like the DX7, then there's obviously the small sort of CS version, the little sort of box with the small keys on it, if you wanted to do that. I just don't understand why these voices. I just really don't. For me, the DX7 stuff, I could quite happily dump at the side of the road and wave goodbye and never see it again. But there are people out there who maybe do like the DX7, so it's an option that you can load into your keyboard if you so wish. Because I can't live without sounds like this. Where's that been all my life? You know what I mean? There's some really great stuff out there. The Yamaha expansion packs, I noticed on the website yesterday, I had a look, there isn't as many as there used to be that have been converted. I don't understand quite what's happened. It's like the expansion side is just, brakes have gone on. I don't understand. The Euro dance pack that was available, I can't find it anywhere for this. And that had a great style called Go Keys. It was absolutely superstar. I can't find it. It's just such a shame. So anyway, going back to the voice side of things, if you are maybe looking for something particular, the chances are you're going to find it in here. Again, another feature that I'd be interested to actually know if anybody else watching this video uses Ensemble. It keeps appearing in these. I don't get it. Why would you want to do that? You want to play the instrument, not have it doing it all for you, and then it starts taking your polyphony away. And I just don't understand Ensemble. I really haven't since the day it appeared. And people keep saying to me, "Can you show me how to use Ensemble?" No, I really don't like it. For me, it's the biggest waste of space on the screen. It could be used for other things. Ensemble is a big no. Absolutely not. Accordions, they're really good. You got a beautiful jazz casotto. The organs need an update. The organs are still the same organs as previously. They are just massively boring. So again, I go into expansion and I choose to put my own organ sounds in here, which are much more sort of party sort of stuff as well. You can pick some fantastic stuff up expansion voice wise, and yeah, it's another division where it needs a serious look at. I never understand why nobody ever samples a H100, a Hammond H100 with all the extra drawbars and the extra sounds that give it that sort of Euro organ sound. Because let's face it, the Yamaha Europe is based in Germany. They would love this sort of stuff. So why? I'd say just don't understand. I'm sounding quite negative, but it's not. These are things that you should be aware of because I like to show everything. I'm not one of these that'll say, "Oh, look at this is fabulous." It is, but then you need to know what you're going to be looking out for. So for the organ sounds, your Genos one, your SX900 is going to give you the same sort of style of sound. There's nothing better. The idea of Yamaha putting more of their own Yamaha sounds in here just terrifies me because I'm not a fan in any way, shape or form of Yamaha drawbars. Their organs were not an iconic organ, and maybe they think they are, but if you look at the organs that were made popular because of artists, those are the organs that should be in here, not stuff that just happened to be in an organ shop back in 1972. So that's my view, and maybe you agree, maybe you don't agree, maybe you love the sound of the Yamaha drawbars. So anyway, there you go. So that's kind of the only really two-ish bits in the voicing that I would sort of kind of complain about. Not complain as in I will not buy this because of these, because I would still, even if every other keyboard was better in maybe those categories, they still aren't as good in everything else. If that makes sense. Does that make sense? This keyboard, you can sit and perform pretty much anything on here. And if you can't figure it out with a style, you can make your own styles on board. Now, other keyboard manufacturers kind of give you some bits. I know a couple that will do it, but very in a complicated and very drawn out, painful way. This is a walk in the park. I kid you not, you can make a full style from intro to ending easily. It just takes a little bit of knowledge, and there's a couple of videos that I've put online to show you how to do that. But in terms of actually you doing it, it takes, all it is practice. It's not that you can't do it, it's just that you need to learn how to do it. Once you've done that, it's not a case of a musical ability, it's you sitting down and learning and practicing. That's all it is. It's just practice, as with everything. And that leads me on to the registration system on the Genos, because again, it makes it very easy for you to sit down in whatever time of day, push a button, sets it all up. And again, I can go and change the registration bank, so I can have a 10 registrations for a song. Now, one of my big gripes about a couple of keyboards that I've had in the past is that 4 registrations ain't enough. They aren't. Yamaha actually give you 4 automatic registrations and then give you 10 of your own for you to create for a song. So maybe I want to play 3 Blind Mice. I can have a different setting 10 times to play that song through. So the first one I can have the piano and strings, second one I could have brass, third one I could have choir. But I can change these on the fly, and as I've just done. And again, they've got some stunning guitar sounds in here. But the registration system is very, very easy to use. It makes your playing so quick. You can link it to a music app where you can call up the music and it will choose the registration ready for you to play seconds. I've never actually tried that, so maybe that's something I'll have to have a look in the future. So anyway, we are now up to 30, for nearly 40 minutes. So on that note, I'm going to give it a break because I don't want to bore you to death. But I am basically saying, 1 year on, nothing else has come out to beat the Genos 2 in my book. I say my book, maybe you think there is something better, in which case you're wrong. But seriously, there is no other keyboard that does everything that this thing can do. I would love Yamaha to address the little issues. I really would, and I don't know why 12 months after they haven't. So please, would you do that, Yamaha? Will you take a serious look at and listen to your customers and stop listening to focus groups who don't play these sort of things in the way that 99% of us do? You've got to understand that this keyboard is a performance instrument. Both hands are doing something. We can't be doing that and that and that and that. We can't be twizzling knobs. It's not a DJ deck. And you designed it, so you must know what your audience can do. So please, will you deal with this? Put an update out before Christmas. I challenge you to put an update out before Christmas as a solution to this at least. And maybe the other few little things like the reverb kicking in and the effects that I've reported. There's a few other things that people I noticed on the forums have commented on. Just sort it. It really is making you look bad. And this keyboard doesn't make you... Are you with me? The keyboard is of top-notch standard quality. It's just a few things that you overlooked, please have a look at them. So anyway, 1 year on, we are now wondering what Yamaha are going to create for the next Genos, maybe something else. I don't know. Who knows? I personally, for the next incarnation, would like to see new innovative features. No, I'm kind of at the point where I think I don't want any more sounds. You know, you can keep throwing sounds and things like, I mean, I know on here you've got this. Where are we? This was the wow factor voice. Oh, where's it gone? There we go. That's the duck. Very nice, very usable, but it's just another voice. I want to see some more innovation, some more ideas around maybe having more control over style parts, being able to switch style parts, style patterns within the style live while you're playing. There's so many things that you can do with this keyboard, and I do worry that Yamaha are just going to keep giving us more voices and a couple more styles and then just put it in the same cabinet as last time. I hope and I pray that that's not the case for the next version of this. Who knows? What would you like to see? I mean, you obviously, if you're watching this video this far, have you got one? Would you like to buy one? And what is it that you would like to see? Please keep it civil. I don't like it when people start getting personal or sort of put a comment about, you know, this thing's useless or that's not what we're after. We're after productive, helpful suggestions that maybe you've come up with and think, well, hang on, this is a great idea that nobody else has thought of. That would be an amazing thing to have. Somebody to leave a comment and say, how about this? And Yamaha go, oh, what a brilliant idea, let's do that. Because let's face it, after all these years, the guys in R&D at Yamaha must be running out of ideas. Because you can't keep adding. It gets to the point where you've got to come up with something fresh. And that's what I'm worried about, is the fact that maybe Genos 3 is just going to be another, you know, colour change, a few new buttons. Who knows? But it's got to be something more than a Genos 2 next time, because the Genos 2, don't get me wrong, awesome instrument, as I've said from the beginning, but it would be nice to have some nice, fresh, new ideas that are in an instrument of this calibre, and certainly for this sort of money. Right, well, I'm going to wave goodbye to the Genos for the moment, but I say 1 year on, it still kicks ass. It still is the best product out there. It still has the biggest following in terms of instrument owners. And to be fair, I don't understand why anybody plays anything else. I mean, I do. Obviously, if you've gone down a different manufacturer's route for all your years, but the content that's available for this after when you've bought it is the thing for me that makes Yamaha the big seller. Because 2 years after me buying this, I can still walk in onto an online store and buy 10 styles for it, brand new. Can you do that for your existing other keyboard? Probably not. And I know another brand that hasn't done anything fresh for a long time, style-wise, and they just seem to have hit a wall. So I don't know. Yamaha seem to have the whole ecosystem is there, and you don't get bored. You know, you've got something that you can play for many, many years. Okay, they probably release one now every 3, 4, 5 years. I can certainly hang on for another 3, 4 years to wait for the next incarnation of this, but I really do hope it's a bit more than it has been. Anyway, I hope you found this video interesting. Little quick sort of guide around Genos 2 celebrating its birthday. I did contemplate putting a candle on it, but I thought, no, fire and all that's not a good idea. So until next time, I'll see you. I hope you'll certainly subscribe to the channel. If you don't, please click subscribe. Click the bell, and nobody's come knocking at the door. It just goes ping when I make a video, and you get updated and told what happens. And thank you for all your lovely comments. I've got to say that, because everybody who subscribes to my channel, first off, is genuine, because that's another thing that if you look at other channels and you see sort of hundreds of thousands of views, I do wonder what goes on, whether they're actually real. So every one of the subscribers here are all real people. They're all genuine. You do come back and watch according to the figures. And the views that I get are just super. I can't thank you enough for watching these. So if you've got any comments, leave them in the message box below. Please bear in mind I will remove or delete or ban you if you start getting all sort of rude or whatever you try and do. I have had a few. And other than that, I look forward to hearing from you. Until the next video, have a great day. And of course, this is now Friday when it goes up. Friday, the 15th of November. So 1 year ago, we were all getting very, very excited and in some cases, very rude on the videos. Remember all the comments that we had on the YouTube channel? I sat there watching and thinking, oh my, somebody's got to shut this off at some point. But no, it just carried on and on and on. And yeah, it's still become the best keyboard out there. So anyway, there you go. It just shows you people can leave a comment, but it don't mean anything. Right, have a great evening, guys, or great day, or great morning, or afternoon, whatever time of day you're watching this. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Take care.